Snow White and the Seven Delightful Dwarfs. Once upon a time, in a kingdom surrounded by lush forests, there lived a kind and beautiful princess named Snow White. She had skin as fair as snow, lips as red as roses, and hair as black as ebony. Her stepmother, the queen, was jealous of Snow White's beauty and asked her magic mirror daily, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?" For years, the mirror replied, "You, my queen, are the fairest of them all." But one day, it said, "Snow White is the fairest of them all." Enraged, the queen ordered a huntsman to take Snow White into the forest and get rid of her. However, the kind-hearted huntsman couldn't harm the innocent princess and let her escape. Snow White wandered deep into the woods until she discovered a small cottage. Curious, she stepped inside and found everything in tiny size, tiny chairs, tiny beds, and tiny dishes. Exhausted, she lay down and fell asleep. The cottage belonged to 7 delightful dwarfs: Happy, Sleepy, Bashful, Sneezy, Dopey, Grumpy, and Doc. When they returned home from their work in the mines, they were surprised to find Snow White sleeping in their house. She awoke and told them her story. The dwarfs, touched by her kindness, offered her a home, and she happily stayed with them, keeping the house tidy and cooking delicious meals. Meanwhile, the queen discovered through her mirror that Snow White was still alive. Furious, she disguised herself as an old woman and visited the cottage. She offered Snow White a poisoned apple, and as soon as the princess took a bite, she fell into a deep, enchanted sleep. The dwarfs were heartbroken and placed Snow White in a glass coffin, believing she had passed away. But one day, a prince riding through the forest saw her and was mesmerized by her beauty. He kissed her gently, breaking the spell. Snow White awoke, and joy spread throughout the land. She and the prince fell in love and were soon married, while the delighted dwarfs cheered and celebrated. The wicked queen, upon learning of Snow White's happiness, was overcome with fury and disappeared from the kingdom forever. Snow White and her prince lived happily ever after, while the 7 delightful dwarfs remained her dearest friends, always spreading joy and kindness.